What's going on, everyone? Elite Sports back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the New York Giants 53-man roster. Now, it came out a couple days ago, so this might be a late video compared to when other content creators posted it. But I wanted to wait just because of the fact that I knew that that this wasn't going to be the exact 53. I wanted to wait and see the other cuts from other teams and see who the Giants signed from there. And I knew that would happen, and that turned out to be a good idea, as Tony Jefferson was waived from the Baltimore Ravens. And of course, my first thought, as many other content creators and Giants fans on Twitter, our first initial thought was the Giants, and that's ultimately what ended up happening, as he's reuniting with Donovan Martindale. I like that a lot. Makes a ton of sense for both sides, really. Jefferson kind of gets a fresh start in New York with a thin secondary and safety spot that the Giants have, so he's going to get a chance to play a lot. And the Giants get a good veteran player in Tony Jefferson, so that makes a lot of sense there. Now, the 53-man roster as a whole, with a bit of surprises, in my opinion. Let's start off with the practice squad and see what the Giants have there. Davis Webb, Jashawn Corbin, C.J. Board, Jalen Moore, Austin Allen, Garrett McGinn, Will Holden, Roy McBecta, I don't know how exactly to say his name, the offensive lineman. And then on the defensive side, Ryder Anderson, Quincy Roche, who's a big surprise to me. I like Roche. I would have rather him be on the roster rather than Oshane Ximines, but I understand with, of course, the scheme that the Giants play, Oshane Ximines fits it a bit more, but, with Quincy Roche being on the practice squad, there's no doubt in my mind he'll get some time to play. Darren Evans, Zion Gilbert, Nate Metters, Trenton Thompson, and Harrison Hand are the DBs. The Giants, that's their practice squad right there. But getting into the 53-man roster, let's take a look at that. Of course, we know at quarterback who the Giants were going to go with. Tyrod Taylor as the backup, with Daniel Jones as the starter. And the fact that they took Tyrod Taylor means that his injury is not serious and he should be ready to go week one if needed. Hopefully he's not needed, because hopefully Daniel Jones is a good player in that game and, can stay off the injury shelf. But those are the quarterbacks. The running backs, Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida, Gary Brightwell, Antonio Williams. Those are the running backs. The wide receivers, rather, Kenny Golladay, Richie James, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, David Sills, Darius Slayton, and Kadarius Toney. Now, I know Darius Slayton is on the trade block. He still might be traded. That's why they went with 7. I don't necessarily know if he'll be on the Giants, but that might be a surprise to some people. I think if the Giants could get something for him, he will be off the roster. Over to the tight end spot, the Giants went with 3. Chris Myrick, Daniel Bellinger, Tanner Hudson. I think the Giants are still going to add somebody there because that's just, frankly, not good enough. I don't think Tanner Hudson or Chris Myrick, I think one of the two will be off the roster. Daniel Bellinger, though, is a lock. Back to the offensive line. Andrew Thomas, the left tackle. Shane Lemieux, if he stays healthy. Evan Neal, DeVary Hamilton, Mark Lewinsky, Max Garcia, John Feliciano, Joshua Zudu, Ben Bredesen. That obviously changed a bit. Max Garcia is now on the practice squad. We obviously know that. So we'll see what ultimately ends up happening there with him. Shane Lemieux was placed on the IR. So the Giants have some room to work with there on the offensive line. So that's going to be interesting. This is just the initial 53. Then the defense, DJ Davidson, Justin Ellis, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Nick Williams as the defensive lineman. The linebackers, they went with 12. Timon Fox, Cam Brown, Austin Calitro, Carter Coughlin, Tate Crowder, Blake Martinez, Micah McFadden, Azeez Ojulari, Ellerson Smith, who went on the IR, Oshane Ximines, Jihad Ward, and Kayvon Thibodeau. Obviously, we know that might change because that's a lot of linebackers. I think that's probably going to change a bit, but we'll see ultimately what happens there with the linebackers. I think the Giants really looked for special teams players, as a lot of those guys in the linebacker spots, like Cam Brown and Carter Coughlin, they're special teams guys. Pretty much that's it. So interesting to see what the Giants ultimately end up doing there, but it looks like they value special teams. The DBs, Dane Belton, who is going to be ready for week one, very encouraging there. Cordell Flott, the Giants rookie. mid-round pick. Darnay Holmes, Adoree Jackson, the cornerback one. Julian Love, loved this guy. I mean, he was really happy to be named the captain, which we'll get into in a bit. Xavier McKinney, Aaron Robinson, Rodarius Williams, and then, of course, the special teams, obvious. Graham Gano, Jamie Gillian, Gillen the punter, and Casey Kreider, the long snapper. So that's that there. Now, in terms of the captains, the Giants have a lot of captains. They have 10 captains. Usually they have 6 or 7, but this year they went with a lot of captains. They named 10 captains, and I like who they decided to go with personally. Of course, we'll start off on the offense. The obvious ones, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, we knew that, and I think it's pretty obvious to say that Andrew Thomas was going to be a captain all along. The defense, Xavier McKinney, Dexter Lawrence, and Leonard Williams. That's the defensive captains. And then Graham Gano and Cam Brown on special teams, plus Julian Love, who received numerous votes as both a safety and special teamer for the captain. So, of course, the Giants, I'm happy with who they named as captains, and I'm extremely happy to see how happy Julian Love was to be named the captain, as he really appreciated that. Overall, though, I think it's an interesting 53-man roster. I think there's going to be a lot of changes to it. Depending on how much it changes, I may have another video on it out right before the season starts. But we know it changes throughout the year. So obviously, it just matters who's on the special teams, who's on the practice squad, and who gets picked up elsewhere. So it's good to see these guys staying on the roster. I want to see if Quincy Roche can find his way back onto the roster, because I think Roche is a good player. We'll see what ultimately ends up happening there, though. But, guys, that is all I got in this video. You guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on this 53-man roster for the New York Giants. I think Daboll and Shane did a good job with it. But you guys let me know all that good stuff down below in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. See you guys on the next video. And as always, let's go Giants.